You're woke, you're Marxist, and you're traitors. All of you, you legislatures in Massachusetts, you people who wrote this, who put this out, traitors. Each and every one of you. And this is who you are. I'm going to put your names up right now. Traitor, 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 traitor. Because you're lying to get rid of this proud symbol of American heritage, the Great Salem, Massachusetts, and the flag of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Traitor, 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 traitor. Right down the line. All right, folks. I'm Kerry J. Byrne, the founder of Doug Adams. Today we have a message specifically for those in Massachusetts. The state of Massachusetts has had the same state seal since the American Revolution. The current seal that we know, a very similar version of it, was signed into law by Governor John Hancock in 1780. It's not getting a lot of attention, but that venerable, cherished old state flag, that state seal, is gone. The law has already been signed. And submissions for the new flag design were opened on last week, on May 8th. They're going to be reviewing them. They're going to recommend a new flag to the governor on July 29th, I believe. And you will have a new state flag replacing 250 years of Commonwealth state tradition. You will have a new flag in Massachusetts before the end of the year. And here's the scary part. This is part of a cancel culture frenzy going on from coast to coast. When flags are replaced around the country, what we found, this is unbelievable, more often than not, what rises in their place is a symbol unknown in United States, in American culture, unknown in American flag culture. It's an 8-point star that represents the throne of Allah. That's true, throne of Allah in Islamic culture. It's ubiquitous in Islamic culture. It's on flags all over the Islamic world, including the nation of Azerbaijan, the Organization of Turkic States, historic flag of the Ottoman Empire, the historic flag of Saudi Arabia, of the Saudi Empire. It's on flags all over Iran, including this symbol is on the flags of the city of Tehran and the Iran Ministry of Intelligence, its spy agency. This symbol is already proposed for the new Massachusetts flag. We found already 4 flags proposed. We don't know if they've been submitted yet, or if other ones have been submitted. We haven't seen the submissions. They don't seem to be available yet. But at least 4 flags bearing this throne of Allah star, that's the hottest new trend in American flag culture, have already been proposed for the new flag for Massachusetts. And what we found all over the country is these flag committees will do anything, will bait and switch, will do anything to make sure that symbol is on the new flag. We found examples of fraud in Utah. We found examples of fraud in Minnesota. We found examples of fraud in Evanston, Illinois. Here's one of the problems. We already know there's fraud going on because the legislation to change the Massachusetts flag is based on incorrect, errant, fake, false, woke, far-left, rewritten history. It's all based on a lie. The coming of this new Massachusetts flag is based on a lie. Let me read some to you from House docket number 4557, filed on September 4th, 2023. And there, as is the case in other places like Minnesota, and with this cancel culture stuff going on around the country, there are excuses to get rid of the Native American. These racists, these woke racists, these cancel culture racists, these Democrat and leftist racists are trying to get rid of Native American images all over the country. They've done it on over 1,000 sports teams, businesses, everything, flags all around the country. And Massachusetts is next. And so here's what the Massachusetts legislature has said about why we need a new flag, because it has a Native American on it, okay? Whereas then Governor Bradford of Plymouth Colony sent Miles Standish and a group of armed men to Wessagusset to slay indigenous native leaders on April 6, 1623, to repress a rumored attack that would have wiped out both the then Wessagusset and Plymouth settlements. Okay? Some history you need to know there. There was a small settlement in Wessagusset, now Weymouth, Wessagusset Beach is still there. And there was another settlement in Plymouth, the more well-known Pilgrim settlement in Plymouth. 2 different native tribes inhabited these lands. It was not just one native people. The Massachusetts Indians were up north around Wessagusset, Weymouth, Quincy, Boston, Massachusetts natives. Down in Plymouth were the Wampanoags. They were called at the time Pokanoket, and the name kind of developed later on to be Wampanoags. But 2 different tribes, the Pokanoket, keep that in mind. So this bill is alleging that Governor Bradford sent Captain Miles Standish to slay the indigenous leaders at Wessagusset. Okay. The indigenous native leaders were slain in cold blood by Captain Miles Standish and his dishonorable men hiding behind the fortification's doors. The Pilgrim settlers are dishonorable men. This is the state legislature trashing the foundational people in American history, okay? Whereas Captain Miles Standish was later commended for his alleged bravery, and a vast park was named in his honor, in quotes, in Plymouth, Massachusetts, for said alleged bravery. Wow. Okay, let's go further. Whereas the sale of the Commonwealth was adopted in 1780 by then Governor John Hancock, ratified by the General Court in 1885, depict an arm and a hand holding a broadsword, said to be that of Captain Miles Standish. Said by who? Who said that? Nobody said that. They're equating the two. They're making a leap. They say it indicates the subjugation and humiliation of the indigenous natives, which is known to be offensive to a great number of people. It's not what it symbolizes at all. Anyway, okay? And they go back to, it is difficult to see how the menacing image of Captain Miles Standish, unproven, and the broadsword held above the head of the indigenous native benefits the proud people of the Commonwealth. Anyway, this entire history I just read to you, and the state legislature, and insulting the Pilgrim founders of this nation, it's all untrue. It's all based on a lie, at least according to, I'm not the expert here, at least according to award-winning historian and Massachusetts resident, Nathaniel Philbrick. He's the one who wrote The Tragedy of the Worship Essex, and he wrote this incredible history called Mayflower, probably the definitive history of the Pilgrims. Okay? Here's what he says about the slaughter at West Augusta, his report. He claims it was a plot by Wampanoag chief Massasoit to get his enemies, the Massachusetts, to the north. He was at war. These people did not live in all in harmony. The Wampanoags around the Pilgrims and the Massachusetts up north near West Augusta were not friends. They were enemies. So Massasoit saw a chance to enlist the aid and the weapons of the Pilgrims, according to Nathaniel Philbrick. What the Wampanoags told the Pilgrims was that they were about to be hit by a surprise attack by the Massachusetts Indians. They were coming down to slaughter the Pilgrims. This was what the Wampanoags were told the Pilgrims about their enemy. Massasoit also claimed that the Massachusetts Indians to the north, again, he was a Wampanoag, the Massachusetts Indians had succeeded in gaining a half a dozen allies from Cape Cod and Manamet and Martha's Vineyard. They had enlisted allies to surround and attack the Pilgrims and slaughter the Pilgrims in Plymouth. Okay? This was what was the plot told to the Pilgrims by the natives. So, of course, the Pilgrims are forced to act. So here's how it happened. 8 men from Plymouth went up to lead this attack. They make it sound like it was this widespread slaughter. And it obviously was a terrible incident, but it was a multiracial force that attacked the Massachusetts natives at West Augusta. It was Wampanoags, at least one, Hobbamak, and 7 Englishmen. It was a multicultural force. It wasn't just Englishmen attacking natives. It was English and natives attacking natives. There were also Englishmen in West Augusta who were basically held prisoner by the Massachusetts natives. That's something we should remember too. This was an attack of self-preservation perpetuated by the natives. It was a plot by natives against natives, enlisting the weapons and advanced technology of the Englishmen. That's what this was. Okay, they killed a bunch of natives, 10 or 12 at least. I'm not sure how many. There weren't a lot of people there. These are very small settlements. Again, it was an attacking force of 8. Okay, according to Nathaniel Philbrick. Winslow said, "It much grieved us to shed the blood of those whose good we ever intended. They didn't mean any harm to the natives. But this was an attack of self-preservation. Standish's raid," this is again Nathaniel Philbrick, this is Nathaniel Philbrick's history, which completely refutes the Massachusetts state legislature. Standish's raid had irreparably damaged the human ecology of the region. The English Europeans did not bring anything to the New World that wasn't already here. There was already war here. There was already slavery. Okay, on the attack that the Massachusetts state legislature lies about in the bill to change the state flag. The Massachusetts state legislature lies about Massachusetts history and their effort to get the flag of Massachusetts changed. Okay, and their lies are refuted again by Nathaniel Philbrick, award-winning historian. The people who had been helped by the attack on West Augusta were the Pokanokins, the Wampanoags. That's who was helped. Prior to West Augusta, Aspinet, sachem of the Nausets, had commanded more warriors than Massasoit, the head of the Wampanoags. But now Aspinet was dead, and his people had fled in panic. Over the next few years, Massasoit established the Indian nation we now refer to as Wampanoag. But it had been Massasoit who pulled it off. Just a few words delivered from what had almost been his deathbed had unleashed a chain of events and had completely reinvented the region in his own image. The English had served him well. He totally refutes the Massachusetts legislature. The state legislature is lying to you. They're giving you a false history about why we need to change the flag, why Massachusetts needs to change the flag. And again, lying about these things is all part of the narrative to get to recreate American history. It's all the stuff we talk about at Doug Adams all the time. They need to lie to recreate the new United States in their own vision, which is a terrible vision. Your state, your Commonwealth, your once proud Commonwealth, now an embarrassment, quite frankly, is going to be conquered by this woke ideology. And I guarantee you, high on the list of new flags to go up, it's going to be one of these flags you see right here. One of these throne of olive flags is going to be the next flag to rise over the state of Commonwealth of Massachusetts. It's happening all over the country, and you're next. And they're lying. They're already lying about it. They're already committing fraud. The legislature of Massachusetts itself is committing fraud. I'm calling all of you frauds. All of you, everyone in the Massachusetts legislature who supports this. We can go down. I'll list your names. You're all lying. You're all frauds. You need to be called to account. You are rewriting your state history. You're insulting the foundational figures in our national history, the Pilgrims, incredibly brave people who went through trials you would never understand, and you're insulting them. You're calling them dishonorable history, all because you don't know the history, or you do know the history and you're lying about it. Come see more at Doug Adams. We break down all this. We tell you what's really going on in American history and American culture. And I thank you for watching.